welcome to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. Today we're talking about the healthy house. We are really just diving into this because a lot of people have problems with their houses. So we're going to talk about some of those things that you can do to make sure you don't have problems with your house and just keep your house overall healthy. You know, you hear about people living in houses that are making them sick because they got mold and it's not clean and it's just an unhealthy house. Well, we're going to talk about the healthy house. But if you have a real estate question, whether it's on this topic or not, you can call us, and let me give you that number, 844-788-9444. That call-in number where you can call 24/7 and leave your question, 844-788-9444, and we'll answer it here on the show between 11 and noon on Sundays. So this segment, we're talking with Joe Poole. He's been on the show before. Joe, he is a home inspector, and he's the owner of JP's Real Estate Inspections. So welcome back, Joe.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Let's talk about the healthy house, because you've been in some unhealthy houses.
Yes, I have.
So what's a healthy house look like?
A healthy house to me is the type of house that you can eat off the floor.
And there's a few of those out there.
And there's a few of those out there.
I don't have one of those.
You don't have one of those?
No.
Occasionally, I think I can eat off my floor, but I have a dog.
My dog eats off the floor.
Okay, well.
he cleans up the crumbs under the table after dinner.
You don't need a vacuum system.
That's right.
But no, to me, a healthy house is a house that is maintained properly, such as the inside. The filters are changed properly in the house. Mm-hmm. The air feels fresh and clean. Mm-hmm. Window sills don't have any dust particles on them, because that alone too would cause some type of sneezing, some health concerns, because you have dust buildup on baseboards.
No dust bunnies. You don't want dust bunnies.
Yeah, dust bunnies.
Dust bunnies bad.
Window sills or window blinds. Definitely.
Dusty blinds.
Dusty blinds.
That's gross.
You know, I inspect a lot of homes, and just to open up the window, I have to practically put on a mask, because there's so much
dust just flies.
Dust just flying everywhere. You can knit a sweater with dust.
That's gross.
So
yeah, that's an unhealthy house.
No.
Okay, so let's start with the outside.
Okay.
So a lot of people have overgrown lawns. Not a lot, but some people have overgrown lawns, and your HOA kind of takes care of that. Fining people who don't take care of the lawn.
Supposedly fine.
But some people, they whatever, they just don't take care of their lawns.
Right.
So that can be problems. You can have ant beds all over the place, and it can cause real problems.
Which, as an inspector, we call it foliage. You have tall foliage that have grown above the foundation line. Mm-hmm. And so what that does is that actually covers up your weep holes. Mm-hmm. And the weep holes is designed in the house so that between that house wall can breathe.
Okay.
And so if they are blocked, maybe with ant beds, dirt dabblers, or things like that, that house can't really breathe. Mm-hmm. Also, too, a lot of homes have soffit vents that allow that house to breathe. Mm-hmm. Allow air actually to flow into the attic and actually flow out through the roof.
Air circulation.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot to do with maintaining a good, healthy house. Mm-hmm. But also on the inside is another thing.
Air quality is important.
Air quality is important because you have so many allergies. Mm-hmm. What may affect you, Shannon, may not affect me.
Yeah.
So
we have some buyers who say they need a house with no carpet in it, and the allergies are so bad they need no carpet in the house.
Correct. I'm from up north, and a lot of times what happens is, where there's snow and salt. Mm-hmm. So generally, by rule, pull your shoes off before you enter. Mm-hmm. But here in Houston, actually, carpet years ago was a luxury. People didn't want wood floors or solid floors. They want carpet. Mm-hmm. Now they're going back to hardwood floors or some type of tile, because if you really think about it, what's on the bottom of your feet, you actually bring into your home.
Right.
That can be a health issue, a health concern.
Right. So when I think of an unhealthy home, I think of water issues. Water does nasty things to houses.
It does.
Really nasty things to houses, whether it's rain coming in through leaky windowsills or leaky roof.
Correct.
Or pipes leaking, dripping.
Corroded pipes.
Yeah, underneath the sink.
Right.
mold above the shower because all that steam.
No proper ventilation.
Not having the exhaust fans.
Right.
So water is just a huge problem in a house.
Water can do you some good and also do you some harm. You have individuals like to take long showers, but never think about turning on that exhaust vent fan before they take their shower.
Kids. Yes, my kids.
So what is happening? Steam rises and it sets on the wall. Next thing you know, you got mildew forming.
Yes.
That wall stayed wet so long, now you have mold growth coming.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. So
mildew turns to mold.
Mildew turns to mold because it's a microorganism, so it eats. So that's another thing.
Having a good heating and air system helps with all that, right?
Oh yes, good ventilation is the key.
And air quality is so important in a home because of allergies and just having that good ventilation system. So when you have nice weather outside and you want to open the windows and just enjoy the fresh air, does that do damage then?
It depends on the individual's health.
Okay.
Me personally, I like windows open sometime. But that depends on, I remember growing up, Shannon, we had attic fan. You turn on that attic fan, but all window has to be open. And so that was good circulation. Fresh air coming in, old air going out. Today, it's not really like that. Me personally, today, to have windows open, you can have bugs coming in. It just depends if you have the proper screens, but it depends on the individual.
How tolerant they are of bugs.
How tolerant they are.
Okay, so some other issues in houses. I know safety issues. When we look at inspection reports and we see the safety issues, a lot of it comes from electricity.
Right.
The arc fault
All fault breakers, GFCI plugs is definitely a health concern, and they also safety concerns. Another thing, too, is that smoke detectors.
Yes.
I inspect a lot of homes, and the smoke detectors just constantly chirping because the individual hadn't replaced the battery, which is a healthy home because if that home catch fire, smoke detector is not functioning because the batteries are all gone, all dead. So,
do you think you should have a carbon monoxide detector in a house?
I think so to a certain degree, definitely in older homes.
Okay.
If there's a home that's been there for years and there's an old system, there could be a possible chance it could have a cracked heat exchanger, which lets out carbon dioxide poison. So I even recommend a carbon dioxide detector in the attic, where the system is located.
All right, let's go back to plugs in the wall. If you have outlets that are missing the faceplate, or the faceplate is all jiggly wobbly, is that bad?
It's bad.
Okay.
Because it depends on how that plug is positioned. If it's not grounded properly, the way electricity travels, that can hurt you. Actually, I did an inspection the other day, and this home had metal plates, but all the plates were loose. So when I plugged my tester into the wall and to jiggle it out, the metal plate actually fell on my tester, and it made a big spark.
Oh, wow. Okay, and that's another thing. When you unplug a device and it sparks, what does that mean?
What that means is that actually that device is in the on position.
Okay.
If you're using a hair dryer, actually it's best turn the switch off, then unplug it.
Right.
But when you turn it off, that means that it's on a load. If there's a load. So when you pull it off, you kill a load, so it arcs. That could be very dangerous.
If your GFCI is always flipping, always turning off, is that indicative of a problem?
Yes, it is. Either that GFCI is failing.
Okay.
So it needs to be replaced.
Okay. You talked about smoke detectors. We still need to have fire extinguishers in the house, right?
It depends on how good a cook you are.
Don't go there, Joe.
Me personally, if I'm going to have a fire extinguisher in my house, it's going to be up under the kitchen cabinet. Or maybe in the garage. But, with children in the home, they may want to take it down and play with it.
Right.
But if you're a bad cook, I recommend you need a fire extinguisher.
I love it. Okay. Plants. Should you have plants inside your house? Is that good or bad for you?
It's good or bad. It depends on you. It depends on, some people can't be around roses. If I deliver you some roses and you start sneezing, maybe I should have brought you some cookies.
Okay. What about gas leaks? Do you see gas leaks in Houston?
Well, while doing inspections, if I enter into the attic and if I smell gas, I'm going to immediately write it up.
Okay.
Because one thing about gas, you can't see it, but you can smell it. And that could be...
Can be dangerous.
That could be a sign of danger. Because one thing about gas is that if you sleep, that's when it really affects you. So that's important.
Okay, some, water. We talked about water being such an issue. So for some appliance, or for some hot water heaters, they have a shutoff valve, or they have a pan that will fill with water and shut things off before it floods your house. Do you recommend that on your
Of
water
course
heater?
I do. Now, when I'm inspecting water heaters, it has to have a TMP valve on the side of it. That's like a pressure relief valve. If that hot water heater was to malfunction, and if it didn't have that TMP valve, it'd be like a missile. It'll take off like a rocket.
Okay.
That TMP valve releases pressure and will allow water to release from it and just flow outside.
Okay.
If not, it's going to go to its least resistance and let water out. You definitely need a pan.
Okay.
If it's in the attic, you definitely need a pan.
And then the AC unit in the attic, you want it to have a cutoff valve too, so it cuts off if it starts leaking.
Right. Newer systems now, you can actually call an experienced AC technician, and he can actually install you a limit switch, or more so a float switch.
Okay.
So if your auxiliary pan leak and water fills up in it, that float switch would automatically determine, hey, there's enough water. It's time for this air conditioning system to shut off.
Some people have vacation homes or properties that they just don't use very much, a second home. When they get there and they start using the water and the water smells bad,
okay.
How do you fix that?
How you fix that, just simply go through restrooms, kitchen faucets, and turn on the hot water side.
Hot water, not cold water. Hot water.
The hot water.
Okay.
Turn on the hot water side, and when all your hot water flushes out of your system, and you put your hand in the water and you feel cold water, that means that your system has been flushed.
You've emptied the hot water heater.
Emptied the hot water heater.
Now
so
it should be smelling good again.
It should be smelling good. Once that water heats up again, it should be fresh water.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So when you've been away from a house and come back to it, run all the appliances, right?
You should. It just depends on how long you've been gone, but definitely the water heater, that's the first thing, because water heater carries bacteria if they're not being used all the time, and bacteria can harm you, definitely if you, say, a diabetic. You need clean, fresh water just to drink. So you want to flush those water heaters if you don't use them all the time.
So it really sounds like the three main things to keep a really healthy house is, one, control water. Two, keep it clean.
Right. Good air conditioning system.
And then the ventilation.
The ventilation. Those are the essential parts to maintain a healthy home.
All right, very good. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Joe Poole with JP's Real Estate Inspections. How can people reach you?
Well,
they may be buying a house coming up here pretty soon. They may need you.
Well, you can give me a call at 713-906-7302, or either you could text me at 713-906-7302. You can reach me online by sending me an email, joe@jpsrei.com. Or you can go on my website, look us up, joe@jpsrei.com. Either you can put my cell phone number in, 713-906-7302. I'm easy to get in touch with. Just wave a flag. I pass by you.
All right, we appreciate it, Joe. Great updates, lots of great information, and more to come here on Houston Real Estate Radio as we talk about the healthy house. And that doesn't mean the house necessarily that you own. That can be a rental property as well. So even an apartment, you want it to be a healthy environment. We'll be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio.